Hey, chickadees. So this should be no surprise that this week it's all about relationships. And today in particular, it's about mending our fences. So come on in and join us. All right, chickadees. So welcome in. This week, all week, we're talking about relationships. Our guides have been very clear. I got the message, you got the message, we all got the message that we need to talk about relationships. So we're giving this entire week to relationships. Who knows? We may also be told to do next week too. We'll see. We'll do it until they say it's okay, we can move on. So what we're doing this week, we're going to pull cards from the Wisdom of the Oracle deck. This is a deck by my future bestie, Colette Barron Reed. I love all of her decks. Clearly, I love all of her decks. And no offense to my current besties, you know who you are, and I love you all very much. And no relationships were harmed in the making of these YouTube videos on relationships. I'm merely going to add a new bestie to my BFF group. So that's all. So hopefully you don't take offense at that. And, if you do, I'm sorry. Please reach out to me. We'll work it out. All right, so let's get into it. So today's card is card number 52. This card is called Mending. And let's talk about the numerology first. And we're going to do something different with the numerology this week too, because we're going to be dipping into some shadow areas on some of these cards. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about how the Oracle deck is structured in just a moment. But first, let's talk about the numerology. So we're going to talk about general numerology, and then I'm going to talk about the positive traits and then the not so positive traits from a numerology standpoint, because we're going to touch on both of those when we talk through these cards. I'm just sure of it. I can just feel where our guides are going with this. So that's what we're going to do. And the way that the deck is structured is that the deck, each card has some essential meanings in it that are kind of keywords. And I'll make sure you understand what all those are for each card that gets pulled this week. And there is a oracle message for each card that we will kind of pull from. So I don't read the book anymore, but we'll pull the salient points because I'm sure our guides will make sure that we do. And then we will also pull salient points from the relationship message for these. And this is where it can get hang out a little bit on the shadow side from time to time, because I am positive, I can feel it coming, that our guides are going to want to talk about the shadow side of these. So that's how this is going to go down. So here we go. All right, so card 52, this is a 7 in numerology, which is wisdom, introspection, spirituality. So it's a really deep knowing card. The positive traits of the number 7 in numerology is that it's being analytical, intuitive, and reflective and insightful. The shadow side of the number 7 is that we might have a tendency to become a little withdrawn. All of this introspection might cause us to withdraw a little bit. We could also become skeptical and aloof and maybe even secretive. Okay, so keep that in mind as we talk about this card. So, card 52 here, Mending. This is great. The essential meanings, the words that are in the essential meanings for this card are forgiveness and making amends and healing after arguments. And let's talk about these in reverse order a little bit. So when you have an argument with somebody, are you one of those people, and this is a question, are you a lean in or lean out kind of person? So you can just put in the chat, I'm an in or an out. Right? And so what I mean by that, before you put it in the chat, make sure you know what I mean by it. If you're a leaning in person, you're someone who hopefully is unattached to the outcome of this, but is really resting in curiosity about what just occurred. And you want to know more so that you can become a better partner. We've talked about good partnerships a lot and how to become a good partner and how that's the first step to having good partnerships. So this is looking at how we work in that situation of conflict, be it a little conflict or a huge conflict. So do you lean in curiosity, not attachment? If you lean in attachment, that's that you're on the shadow side. Leaning in curiosity. Or are you someone who kind of leans out, whose nervous system gets triggered in ways that are significant and require that you withdraw, that you pull away from that other person rather than standing there and facing them and talking it through? There's nothing wrong with that. This just means your nervous system is going haywire on you. So are you leaning in or are you leaning out? The challenge with when we lean out, there's many challenges with that. There's also challenges with when we lean in if we have attachment. That can be very problematic because then we're placing undue expectations on another person. There are expectations in relationships. Unless we're going to be an island, we're going to have expectations from other people. We just want to make sure that they're aligned. So when you lean out, the big question is, are you avoiding? If you're avoiding dealing with the issues, you're doing what I call a pass-through. And the pass-through means that we are trying, our nervous system is freaked out and we've got to get the issue off the table. We have to get away. We're in fight or flight mode. And so we shut down, we push people out. And we don't mean to hurt people when we do this, but it's what happens, right? We just say, my nervous system cannot deal with this right now. And so things in my outer world must change so that I can remain feeling safe. This is pass-through. One of the challenges we have with pass-through is that when we pass through, we are not dealing with the issues. We are not getting to resolution or a deep understanding of what happened and why and how you might work through that, a similar issue should it arise in the future. What can happen is we get residue that accumulates in our systems when this happens. Now, if you're the pass-through person, you're intentionally putting the residue there. If you are the other person and you're not passing through, you want to have that conversation, you're still going to have residue that builds up. And so we're going to talk about how we deal with that a little bit later. So this residue builds up. It's like a shower head. If you haven't cleaned your shower head in years, it starts to not perform as well as it used to, and you start to feel it and you're like, my showers they're not feeling as good as they used to. Well, it's because your shower head's dirty. And this is the same way. When that residue builds up in your system, it ends up becoming a subconscious challenge and it puts us into a loop. And it's a loop that just repeats itself over and over again. It can actually get on a super heavy rotation if we're not careful. And this is where we end up in cycles that sound like something like this. Well, I just keep attracting the same person to me as a sexual partner, and I don't know why. Or they could sound like, my friendships are all like with this kind of person, and they don't treat me right, or they don't, they're not there for me when I need them, or whatever it is. I often ask myself, if I see a pattern at all forming, it's like, okay, am I in a loop? And then I go down my laundry list of what I do to help myself get out of loops, which I'll talk about a little later. But these loops, if we get caught in them, they essentially, the unhealed parts of our lives become our prison. And we don't even know it. We don't even know it. We don't even know that we are shackled by this until it becomes bad enough that we have no choice but to deal with it. So when we realize that we're at that point, then the invitation is to reclaim your power, step into your power, reclaim your power, mend those fences in your life. And it starts with you. Remember, we have to become the partner that we want to attract and the friend that we want to attract in our life. So we heal ourselves first. Now, I'm going to tell you my laundry list of what I do. And I'm going to start by telling you why I do this laundry list. So I used to do talk therapy, and that was all I did for years and years and years. And then I went to a mindset retreat. Fabienne Fredrickson in Bold Heart, who is a business coach of mine for a number of years, adore her. She had a mindset retreat. It was a 3-day retreat. The first time I went to this retreat was like, I was 30 minutes into it and I was like, wait a minute, mindset first for business? Are you serious? I'm in. So I signed up right away. And then about 6 or 8 months later, I realized, and maybe it was a year later, I realized not much had changed. Like a lot of things had changed on the outside, but not much had changed on the inside yet. And I wasn't aware enough to know that I needed to change the inside. What I was aware enough to know is that I wasn't meeting my revenue goals, right? We weren't growing. My business, was as wonderful as it is, had areas that still had issues that I really wanted to shore up. And I just wasn't seeing the change. And that was because I had not changed my mindset. Now, I don't know anyone that knows me well that would say that I'm not an overly positive person and optimistic. So probably overly optimistic would be certainly how my team describes me. So it's not that I had a bad attitude. It was that I had subconscious blocks that were brought about by events that have happened in my life that drove a pattern of thinking and thought deep within my brain that would run itself over and over and over again. So I come to the second mindset retreat, and I recalled that Fabienne had this list of things that she had done as she was dealing with her subconscious mind and her work. And I thought, I literally took a screenshot of that slide, and I said, I'm going down that list. I'm going to do every single one of these until I have a group of things that really work well for me in concert with each other. So I started out with emotional freedom technique, EFT, or tapping. And I still to this day have 2 practitioners that support me with that. And then I added neuro-linguistic programming, and I do that to this day. So this has been, I've been doing this for 4 or 5 years now. I don't remember, to be honest. So, but I do NLP regularly. And I now have added, I've done Psych K as well. I do body code on a very regular basis. I also meet with 2 medium coaches, and I've done hypnosis historically, and I still do it today, and I absolutely love it. And I also do talk therapy. So yeah, and in fact, yeah, I love all of it. I kind of like, it's a hobby. So only it's not a hobby. It's not a hobby at all, actually. So I joke about it being a hobby. But the truth is that I would not be here today without it. I'm very serious when I say that. Like physically here. I would have committed suicide 30 years ago without it. And so all of this builds up, and what it has done for me personally, it has changed every single relationship in my life. It has changed, first and foremost, my relationship with myself, right? I am hopefully a much better friend and certainly a better spouse than I had been in the past. And it just continues to get better and better and better. So I would just share that with you and encourage you that if you're not doing, a specific type of modality that really works for you, that you get curious and you explore different types of modalities until you do find the one or the group of them that works for you, and then use them to help you transform and remember who you really are. Okay, so we talked about the pass-through. We talked about the fact that these unhealed parts of us become the prison that we live in until we get them cleared out. So let's move on and let's talk a little bit about mending these fences in our life. These fences are the relationships in our life. They're also the boundaries. So the rifts and the old wounds that exist in relationships. I have, and I'm sure I bet every single one of you have things that have happened in your life that you didn't even know the truth about that situation for, I don't know, decades. So I have specific things that like my family never told me. And I am not alone in that. I know I am not alone. And I bet every one of you have something like that too. And it's like, it was like they didn't think that we could work through the issue. And it's like, why can't we just talk about it? So dealing with these rifts and these old wounds that they're not even scabbed over anymore. They're scars that you barely can see on the surface, but they are very deep and very significant. And they impact your life every single day in ways that you don't even know. Behavioral patterns, habits, ways that you can't even fathom. So these are the things that we want to deal with. They're under the surface. And what we want to try to do is move to a place where we can really forgive not just them, but forgive ourselves for the role that we played in it, and release the energy attached to that and set ourselves free. And that's the key. So this is about them to some degree, but to a much larger degree, doing all of this is about you. It's about you and your health and your safety and well-being. And for Pete's sake, if you are not safe, when you're in an abusive situation, get help, and get help immediately. Nobody deserves to be abused. But this is about you. It's about telling yourself a different story. It's about you becoming the good partner that you want in your life, right? So we're going to mend these fences. We're going to release, and we're going to heal from the wounds that we've had. And if we are going to move cleanly with clean energy into 2026, we really have to get to the point of forgiveness. We really do. So, and not just ourselves, but also the other people. So what do we do if, let's say we've got somebody that wants to lean in. You got two people, they've had an argument. You've got one that wants to lean in and curiosity and understand, what happened and how they might move forward as, whatever that relationship is, how that might move forward in a way that's, more understanding and frankly better and stronger for having gone through this. And then you have another person whose nervous system just cannot deal with it, and they pull back, they withdraw, they maybe don't reach out at all for weeks at a time, or whatever the case may be, but they are definitely pulling back into protection mode. So what do you do if you're the lean-in person in this scenario? And the problem is there's not too much you can do outside of your own self. But the most important work that we do in any of these situations is the work that we do on ourselves. So we forgive. We forgive ourselves. We forgive the other person. And eventually, that person will know that. And it may not even be in this lifetime. And that's okay. They'll figure it out. That I promise you. So let me tell you the story about my dad. So my dad, and this will all be in shift. My dad disowned me 30 some years ago. Actually 30 years ago. It was 1995. And because I was a lesbian. And we did not have much interaction at all for the next 11 years until he died. And the thing that I knew was that I loved him unconditionally. I didn't at the time really know what that meant. I was just following what I felt. And when he disowned me, he was my best friend. And it was incredibly difficult to get through for me as a young woman who loved her father. I just thought he was everything. He literally was everything to me. And so I never got the chance to heal that with him because he couldn't handle it. He withdrew. He withdrew to the point of disowning me, right? And he took that to his grave. And now he's back. So we've had a very interesting series of events. He comes to me in music. He uses music to communicate to me. He's learning other ways, and I'm learning other ways to hear him. And it's been really beautiful to watch that relationship heal even after that person is in non-physical. And so it's possible. That's all I'm going to say, is that it's possible. If you want to hear more about it, put Dad in the comments and I'll talk more about that situation. I'd be happy to share it with you. A lot of it will be in the book Shift that will come out in 2026. So what do we do, right? I forgave him. It took a long very big chunk of that 11 years just to get to the point where I could forgive him. And I recalled when he was dying, I walk into ICU to say goodbye. And it was one of those times that you say words, you don't know what you're saying, and you end up at the end of the bed, or I ended up at the end of the bed after speaking to him. And the nurses said those were the most beautiful words I've ever heard. And I look at that nurse and I'm like, I have no idea what I just said. I have zero clue, because it wasn't me. It was spirit talking to him through my body. And I knew that I had one chance to get this right in the physical form, right? What I didn't yet know was what can happen when somebody transitions to spirit and how that relationship continues on then. So I thought, I've got this one shot. I'm going to do this the best that I can. I do love him. I still love him. I loved him through the whole thing. I was so angry because I loved him. And he was angry with me because he loved me too. And so, it's really interesting to be able to look back on that, what was literally a situation that almost cost me my life, and how beautiful that relationship can turn out, and really understanding and putting things in a perspective that goes beyond time and space. And I don't think I'll ever look at relationships the same again, because I know that they go on and on and on and on. So anyway, like I'm going on and on and on with this video. So yeah, if you want to hear more about that, I'll be happy to share more with you. Just put Dad in the comments, and maybe someday we'll just do a video just about that situation. But yeah, so that's it for today. Really looking at mending our fences, mending those relationships. And when we can't mend them with the other person because they're not in a position where they can, be involved in that, to no fault of their own, they've got their journey and we let them do what they're going to do. We still have the responsibility to heal ourselves and to learn the lessons that we're here to learn. So remember that. Go through this next week thinking about where you've got some holes in your fences and your relationships, and where you might be able to do a little bit of mending. And I'm going to be doing the same. So, all right, chickadees, I will see you tomorrow with another installment. Mwah. Don't forget to subscribe.